God, microphone. Oh, we're super late. We're super late.
I blame the wood on the freeway.
I don't know. Alyssa, the arrow is here. Welcome to Monday, everybody. How you doing? And we have an arrow.
An arrow has arrived. An arrow has arrived. What is going?
Uh-oh, I dropped it. There we go. Arrow time. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Arrow time. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Can I move this? There. What if I move me a little bit? I don't want to. Never mind. I just moved myself around. It is April 18th, folks. April 18th with an arrow in the face. Hold on. Let me move the arrow. Let me move the arrow, guys. Hold on. All right. The arrow's moving. Okay, there we go. Good. How's everybody doing today? It's good to be here. All right, fine. I'll quit doing it. Nope, I can't stop. Won't stop. Okay, we'll leave the arrow over there. Just threatening. It's looming. It's looming, threatening arrow over here. How you all doing, everybody? It is the 18th of April, 2022. 2022.
Yes.
All right, I'm hearing from the people confirmation that is the year of our Lord 2022. It's good to be here on April 22 of 18th of the 22 year. Yeah, it's good to be here. Monday. Feels like Monday, guys. Strong Monday out here. There's a lot of Monday stuff going on today. People are doing Monday stuff. I'm doing Monday stuff. You're doing Monday stuff. If you're Kiwi Mamo, you're doing Tuesday stuff. If you're Joel G out of New Z, right? You're doing Tuesday stuff also. If you're New Local Austin, you're doing Monday stuff. Shauna G, I have no idea. S is doing Tuesday stuff. Rock Hard Tanks, don't know. Wesley's Fish Club, he's doing Monday night stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Aqua Blue Bear, Monday stuff. Frank Dominguez, in my attic, certainly a Monday. Tony Franzen, to Monday evening, Monday night. Zip Gun, Monday afternoon. Nice. We've got a wide variety of people here in time zones. Give me a shout out in the chat. Let me know how the weather is. I want to know how the weather is in your area so we can corroborate with Chopper 5 in the skies. Our eyes in the skies. Chopper 5 to make sure that we know that your weather reports are legit. Because if they're not, you know what happens? Spankins. Spankins for all of the members.
For everybody.
That's right. All of the members. We don't give out spankins around here to non-members. Non-members get the cold shoulder. They get silent treatment. Right? It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing ever. Yeah. Become a member today. Get some spankins. Where did my notes go? Oh my God, that's not my notes. Oh, my computer died earlier today randomly. So if we just disappear, it's probably because of that. So it's not my fault. I don't know what's going on. I have yet to do a diagnostic to find out what the hell's going on with why it just shut off. My computer just shuts off sporadically now. I think it's the power supply. I'm going to guess it's the power supply. We're probably having power supply issues. And I was going to replace the power supply, but then I was like, screw it. Let's live life wild, on the edge, on the verge of no power, right? Actually, mainly my thought was like, I'm going to move at some point. I'll do it then.
Well, because then you can take all your stuff apart.
I got stuff to pack. I got things to work on that are not the power supply for this computer. So I figure, hey, let's see what happens. We'll just live it out here. Oh my God, land giraffe! I haven't seen land giraffe in forever. 58 degrees with remaining snow drifts. Oh my God, it's so crazy. Okay. Oh yeah. So I posted in the link in the chat. Become a member today. Yeah. Jokes. Anyhow, today's Monday, have a little bit of news for you guys. As you guys know, we failed with the closing of the house. It was a disaster. It was disastrous in the form of negative $25,000, and I still... You know what's weird? I met up with a friend of mine this weekend for some chit-chats. You know? Just some shooting the bull. It was like, what are we doing right now? Just shooting the old BS loud, proud, shooting the BS, you know? And we were talking about it. And here's the reality. I don't know how to relate to this situation because I realized it. I've never individually owned $25,000. I've never been a person that just had $25,000 in the bank account and it was like, that's my bank account with my $25,000. I've never had that. Conjointedly, Vicky and I had money that we combined forces on saving and working real hard to get. Mm-hmm. And then we lost that when trying to buy a house and we got a low appraisal and then we had waived financing and it was a disaster and who knows? Yeah, it just sucks. But I don't even really know how to relate to it because I've never been the owner of that much money, let alone like having lost that much money and received absolutely nothing for it. It's a real bummer that I don't know how to wrap my mind around. So it's kind of a weird sort of surreal place to be in of like, sweet baby Jesus, what did happen? I don't know. It's still like a mystery. It's like a space alien came down and like pinched my bottom and flew away, right? And you're like, I think space alien pinched my bum and I don't know what happened. It was I don't even know how to relate to what just happened. It's sort of like that. It's like an extraterrestrial experience, and I don't know how to get my brain parts around it, and it's weird. So, needless to say, we've moved on. We're moving on. Vicky and I, we're doing everything we can. We're moving on, and we're just gonna move forward because we can't move backwards, guys. It's against the law. Everyone says it's against the law. Everyone does. Matt Romero just asked, did I get a haircut? Before I bring on a guest today, I will say, yes, I got a haircut. I got a haircut from the worst barber ever. And I don't know what the hell happened. I think she maybe had a stroke during cutting my hair. I don't know. Or a language barrier, or I don't know what the hell happened. So we'll figure it out. I might have to shave my head. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So we're living in it. We're living in it right now, and we're just doing what we can. It's weird. We have good luck and bad luck, and it's wildly swinging up and down. You ever seen one of those? What's that? The oscillating machine. What is the oscilloscope? Oscilloscope. There you go. Money. The oscilloscope, it's like that. It's an oscilloscope, kind of good and bad. So, before I bring in the guest, I'll finish my little brain thread here of what happened this weekend. We looked at 6 places, a whirlwind tour of 6 other properties. And I need every person out there to cross their fingers and their toes and their eyes and their nipples and whatever parts you can manage to cross on your body. For whatever you think good luck is worth, I don't care. Cross your body parts. Let's do it. Because we got about 45 minutes before the review starts on our offer on another property. So, we may or may not get an answer during the show here of what the hell's going on. We want this house. We want this house. We don't not want this house. We want this house. I will... I was going to say fist my table. We don't say that around here. I will drop my fist down on the table.
Yes, more words. More words required.
More descriptors. All you weirdos out there. That we want this house. We hope to get it, so cross all your weird parts. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, guys. Come on now. It has some real features that I'm excited about for making YouTube content. I really got to tell you that. I got to tell you that. You know, I got to tell you that. Let's freaking do it, dude. Let's do it. Come on now. Come on. Do it.
My toes are crossed. You can't see them, but they are.
That's right. Come on, do it. Okay. Bringing on our special guest on Mondays. If you don't know, now you'll know. Alyssa Bentley is our Monday. She's our co-host whenever we can pull it off, right?
Yeah.
To those of you weirdos out there that are like, that's not my wife. My wife's upstairs sick right now. She's not feeling good.
Right.
She's QTing in a room. We got the room closed. And I said, stay in there, you're gross. Needless to say, she's just sleeping. She's not feeling good today at all. So,
right.
She's QTing, quarantine. We don't have COVID. Everybody got tested over the weekend and from Friday until Sunday. So no one has COVID. Our lovely daughter caught something, some kind of cold or something. I don't know, like a cold. She's already better now.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's like, I'm 3. Yeah. You're like, yep, you are 3. Cool. So she's doing good now. Vicky's sick, but nobody else is because I have an immune system. Our guest is Alyssa Bentley of Alyssa Bentley fame, fortune. Why is she our special guest? Because she breeds a lot of fish. She knows a lot about the hobby. She's regularly supplying local stores with fish. Many years in the hobby. She's a vast bucket of knowledge. And yes, I shall refer to you as a bucket of knowledge.
Yes. More than a 5-gallon bucket worth of knowledge.
Yeah, we were talking about buckets of nails earlier. That's why I said bucket of knowledge. And yeah, so that's why she's here. If you have a question, you can send in a question via the chat, which has now disappeared because I don't like having it up. It's too busy with so many people on the screen and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna change my camera angle. I don't want to do it. I don't want to change my camera angle. Oh, you guys just have to deal with this.
Just looking at your haircut. I did notice your haircut. Yep.
It's out of control. Bad haircut. But it's fine because who cares? Right? I already have a lady, guys. How much do I got to do? You know? I got a lady.
Yeah.
She likes the cut of my jib. So,
yeah. But does she like the cut of your hair right now?
She's been asleep the whole time, so she doesn't care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's refuting by sleeping.
You can like hey babe, do a part down the middle and then do the this and then cover it up. No, it'd probably look really weird.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know. It's just a bad haircut. It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's an aggressive haircut. That's what I'm saying. Like it's bad because like I don't know, the lady was feeling aggressive today or something. I don't know what she was doing, but maybe she's having a bad day. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't
took
ask.
It out on your hair.
I didn't ask. You know what I mean? Oh my God, we got a new member during the show.
Oh wow.
Oh my God, we got a new member. That you know what that means? Become a member today. Furry Pal Grover renewing membership. I like that. You know how we know? Because you got a Mr. Chips badge.
Yeah.
If you got a Mr. Chips badge, that means you've been El Memberino
for a little while.
Mm-hmm. I forget how many months that is, but dude,
I think it's.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Alyssa appreciates it.
Between a year and 2 years.
You got to understand, even Alyssa appreciates it. You know what I'm saying?
It's true, and I don't appreciate anything.
What did you sent you sent me this listing.
I did.
Is Aquabit a real website?
Yes. I was browsing Aquabid, like sometimes I just do, right? And they had listed a pair of longfin lemon blue-eye plecos, and it's clearly 2 males. And I'm like, are they a gay pair? You're not going to get babies from this pairing.
Right.
Anyways, I feel like you should show this photo so people know what I'm talking about.
You have to wait a second.
I am waiting. I'm just saying. I'm just talking about it. That's why I shared it to you.
Right. Because you were like, you want me to post it up in here.
Yeah, because I don't have that power here, I think.
You don't.
Because I don't have not controlling the stream. I'm just on the screen.
Yeah, you're just over there. You stay over there,
I am.
weirdo.
There's not enough room over there for 2 people. I mean, there technically is, but...
There is, but it's weird. Don't do that.
Yeah. I don't need to be in your space.
No. I have a personal bubble. Stay out of it.
Yeah.
It's my personal zone.
Mm-hmm.
Where I be doing my personal stuff.
Right. I don't need that. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about if you're looking at plecos, a lot of people just think, oh, well, the one has visible bristles and the other one, it doesn't really, right? And just wanted to mention there's more to look at than just the visible bristles. They both have kind of a triangular body shape to them. Neither of them looks like it's fat in the middle. If it was a female, it would be more round in the center. And I wish I had something to draw on here, but I don't.
Just chill, man. We can't afford all that technology.
I just don't have a piece of paper.
We're not good enough. We're not the NFL here, all right? We don't have that kind of money.
We don't got money for paper.
We only have 78 members. That's not enough.
That's true.
We need to have a Super Bowl with the fish play for the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
The billion people, and then you'll get a screen you can write on.
Oh, I just want a piece of paper.
No, we don't have that either. We can't afford that. Paper's made out of trees.
That's true.
Save the environment.
Those poor trees.
It's an environmental decision. Okay, guys?
Yeah. But, I mean, you guys can clearly see these very straight, almost sleek, all the way straight down on the sides of the fish. And if you zoom in on the fish that they're calling a female, it does have bristles starting to grow. So really it's just a late bloomer of a male.
Where's our arrow? Oh, God. Where's our arrow? There it is. Hey, don't listen to me. Keep talking.
Okay. If you were really looking at a female, it would look like it was really, really full in the middle.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So here's the thing. Like, the assumption is that they're saying that this is a female right here, and this is a male.
Yeah.
Does the on the listing? The ad? The listing. It might be a listing. I don't know. I've been trying to buy a house for a long time. Does it say male and female, or just so happens to be a pair? Right.
It says long fin pairs, perfect fish if you want to start breeding for profit right away.
Oh, so okay, that is given off this is a female, this is a male.
Mm-hmm. And this is telling me that this guy doesn't actually know how to sex his fish.
Right. He just happens to have these fish
and
is selling them. That's a bummer, dude, because I would say this is a male.
Yeah, I would too.
And I would say that this is a male.
Mm-hmm.
Although this one does have like a little plumpiness to it. And it doesn't have its bristles as much yet. But
yeah. But I know from experience that this particular breed doesn't tend to produce females that have the teeny bit of bristles.
Mm-hmm.
So this one just looks like a subdominant male to me.
Right. It's just a male that's been getting beat up on for a long time.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah.
Right?
And the sad thing is I want one of these. Like, I want one, you know?
Uh-huh. You
But-
just want one just for the sake?
Well, because I have a female short fin, and I had heard that the lemons have a recessive long fin gene.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just wanted to play with that and see if that was true or not in my tanks, so I can see it happening.
Right.
And see if I can make that happen. But I ain't going to pay $150 plus $60 shipping for.
That's $210.
That's a lot of money.
That's $210, bro.
That's more than I paid for each of
If
my
you're paying
Snow Whites.
if you're paying $210 for some fish,
I want to know what they are for real. I want them to be the real deal.
yeah,
Not
that,
scam fish.
and I would want them to be able to breed,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to buy scam fish for $210.
Well, it's like I personally would want them to be able to breed because it's not you're not necessarily going to recoup all of the money,
right.
but you at least have something to do with that fish.
Yes.
Right? You're like, I've got a male, I've got a female.
Mm-hmm.
The logical conclusion here is to breed these fish and see if you can.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's where I'd be at, you know?
Yeah.
So, that does make sense. But it's very weird. Like, I know a lot of people recommend to go on Aquabid and that kind of stuff. And I just don't anymore, probably because, like, the amount of times I've been burned, like, buying stuff from random people online.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a bunch of people I know that are vetted that sell stuff online that I can go to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to accidentally give them too much publicity, though.
Right.
But the vetted people and the people that I trust, you know, it's like, if you know, for instance, if you have some kind of business backing you up, you're most likely licensed, bonded, and you have some kind of basic insurance for, like, oh, we sent you the wrong fish, right?
Yeah.
Like, oops, we sent you the wrong fish. We'll figure it out, right? Or, you know, heavens forbid, DOA, and some kind of return policy or
Yeah,
or
because
whatever.
they'll be able to honor that, and they'll have some sort of business insurance or something like that that helps them. And yeah, and also just knowing that you can work with somebody who isn't gonna rip you off. It's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's just I'm just gonna use my phone, make a quick sketch. All right, let's see if you guys can see this. There we go. So that's about what you'd look for in a female, an adult female. Bristle nose. This is super quick sketch on my phone. So don't bite me on this. It's not the best piece of art ever. But yeah, considering the age of those fish there, a female should look plump in the middle. It should have some egg production already, or at least the start of egg production. And yeah, so they just kind of look like that.
What's that?
The females are round in the middle. I showed a picture that I drew really quick on my phone.
You drew a picture on your phone?
Yeah, like this, see?
It's against the law. You can't do that. It's against the law rules. Next thing you know, people are think we're gonna like subcontract out your phone for drawing onto the live stream. We're not gonna do it. We need a Super Bowl first. That's the rule now. Since I said it earlier during the live stream, that's now the rule. De facto, we need.
I got desperate for education, like a teacher in this
Super
country.
Bowl. You know what I mean? We need a Super Bowl. It is a good sketch, though, Dead Boy.
Thank you.
You're right. It is a good sketch, but look, we can't just rely on Alyssa's pocket technology to get us through. Become a member today! Yeah. You know?
That's true.
Yeah. I love how it pisses people off. I have to admit, like, I like to do it more and more because it pisses people off. You know? Like, I can't help myself. I can't help myself. They get mad. I always wonder about those people. Like, do they own a table that is not flipped? You know what I mean? Are they the owner of a table that is not flipped over from their outrage at commercials or whatever. Like they watch the news.
Maybe they're not
Let's say
allowed
they
to flip
watch the
tables, so that's why they have to rage out on other people.
Let's say they watch the evening news, the half hour of news that has typically 17 to 22 commercials in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They must not own a table that's not flipped over. You know what I mean? They got it just, TV dinners, motor oil, you know, like, so funny.
Yeah.
All right, we're checking in on these weather reports because people aren't asking questions about fish. Oh wait, where do I plant my plecos and why are my plants not breeding? I feel like that's a troll question. I'm not sure, but let me think about it. Monday night, sunny and 15 degrees today. I don't know what 15 degrees means. Is that hot?
No, it's about.
Is it moist?
It's about 55.
Is it hot and moist?
55 to 60.
Hold on. We got to get out our conversion chart here. 15 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Fahrenhoozels. Come on over to the Fahrenhoozels. 60 degrees. 60 real temperatures. Yeah.
60 imperial temps.
Imperial temps, man. How long's a foot? Go find the king. Measure his foot.
How long's a foot? 12 inches. Well, how long's an inch? About as big as the end of a thumb. Duh.
Everybody knows that. Yeah. Figure it out, bro. You know what's up. Randall Bowman says it's beautiful here. Okay. Shauna G, Western New York. Cold and rainy. More snow on the way. Great. It's like the second half of April. Why are we... It's snowing everywhere, guys.
Yep. Out like a lion.
my mom lives east of the mountains. And she was like, yeah, there's got... Because they were over here. They visited on Friday, Saturday. And then they left. And they were like, yeah, there is a lot of snow at home right now. Strong. So I guess people on the East Coast might not be able to understand this, but like most of our ski passes are pretty high up. They're like 4,500 feet at the base. They're like 5,000 feet at the base. And then the lifts go up. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that about ski lifts. They go up. And then through gravitational force and slippery surfaces, come back down.
Yeah.
And then you get back on the lift. And then you go back up and do a kick flip. Yeah. Do a back flip, kick flip, nose grind.
Maybe that's you.
Heel slide, face plant.
I just go like this.
Oh, I can do both, bro. I can hit the moguls on 2 sticks, or I can hit the half pipe all day, baby. I can do both. You know why? I'm more than one talent. Multi-talented.
Crazy.
Actually, I'm really not all that talented. I practiced a lot. So
you just dabble
the
a
thing
bit.
is you get opportunity.
Uh-huh.
You got to seize the opportunity and then flip tables over whenever you see a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rawr.
Become a member today.
Angry.
Rage. Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine.
But yeah. But the ski resorts on the East Coast, they're all like Snoqualmie Pass height. They're at like 2,500 feet, 2,000 feet. They're not very high up because they don't really have mountains over there. Because if you look at the United States, it's going that direction. Like if you look at it on a map, it's going left, right? Correct.
Okay.
If you look at it on a map, it's going left. That's the direction it's headed.
Do you mean the continent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the United States is going left, bro. It's going that way.
I'm like, are we talking continental plates here?
Eventually, we're going to join up with Japan.
Tectonic plates.
Yeah, tectonics.
Yeah.
Tectonic. So eventually we're going to join up with Japan. You know, eventually we'll be reunited. And we'll sing that song.
'Cause we're united.
You got to sing louder than that, dude. Oh, copyright strike. Get out of here. So, Anyhow, yeah. So if you look at the mountains, because we're going left, this coast is squishing, making big spires up into the sky, and the ones that were on the east coast are stretching out and they're getting flat. I know it's way more complicated than that. It's just, but you guys get the gist. Anyhow, the east coast ain't got no mountains. That's what I'm saying. Most of those mountains I could just walk up in a half day.
Well, they're just really old.
I could just walk up there. Oh, I'm at the top now. Oh, now I'm going to the bottom. Look at me. Anyhow, that ski resort that's near my mom's house is East Coast elevation.
Okay.
I think that's only like 1,800 feet, maybe 2,000. It's not very high up. Elevation, not much.
Okay.
4 feet of snow.
Nice.
Yep, they got 4 feet of snow like 3 days ago. You're like, oh, and they were like, yeah, it's kind of the most snow we've ever gotten in this amount of time. So we're not really sure what we're supposed to do right now. Yeah. Yeah. So, kind of crazy over there. That's for certain. What was the thing we were going to talk about? Oh, we're hoping to get this. Vicky and I are hoping to get this house. Read Alyssa's name at the bottom. Alyssa's not Vicky, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, Vicky and I are trying to get this house. And one of the big reasons, and I want to tell you guys why you would be excited for this house.
My name. There it is.
I should sit up straight so I'm not like
I can
slouched
point
down
at
in
it.
the corner. Did you see how far down here I was? I was like over here.
You're just taking a nap.
Like, fuck, bro, you know, just gotta get down low, dude. You gotta get down low and talk about fish, bro.
Get low. Get
Guys.
low. Get low.
Guys, we gotta talk about fish. Is he sleeping with his eyes open? Yes. Yes, he is.
Apparently, some people do that.
I do. It freaks out Vicky.
That would freak me out.
Sometimes
too.
she'll come in the room if I'm snoozing, and my eyes will be open, and I'm looking at her, but I'm still sleeping. You know
Do your
why?
eyes get dried out a
I
lot?
sleep with my eyes open. I shall not be a victim of attack.
Do your eyes get dried out a lot?
I'm telling you, my heritage, I would be one of the people that would sleep with one eye open, because we shall not be murdered while slumbering.
Yeah, yeah.
Shall defend ourselves from murder while they try to attack us while it's dark outside. I don't know. I don't know why it's the case, but do my eyes get dried out? Hold on. I can answer that question with an answer. A visual tool.
In other words, yes.
Yes. They do now. Since I got eye surgery, yeah, they dry out all the time. So that's what's kind of a joke where I'm like, I've not been carrying around eye drops the entirety of my life. I never had dry eye, or whatever the hell they call it. Mm-hmm. It's like the stupidest name you could have come up with. Like, are your eyes dry? Yes. What are we calling it? Dry eye. Okay. Yeah. Well, I know word's good. Yeah.
Yep.
But I never had that before. I do have moist eyes, bro. So the reason we're excited about this house, and you guys will be equally excited about this house for this reason. Vicky was not. She just thought it was kind of cool. She was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Whatever, right? So the house itself has the fresh, crisp, pristine Western Washington, purified, pure city water, which, if you guys know anything about Western Washington's city water, it's soft. It ain't got no TDS.
Mm-hmm.
It's all clean. It has a little bit of chlorine in it and
I
stuff,
have it in here.
but not much.
It's delicious.
It's delish, bro. If you're one of these Jersey folks that's like, we got good water that comes out of the tap, no, you don't. I've tasted your water. It's trash, bro. It's garbage trash. It's probably good for water and tomatoes. That's about it, though. It ain't good for taking a shower in. It ain't good for taking a bath in. It ain't good for swimming in. It sure as the hell ain't. Maybe pizza dough. Maybe that's the thing. Because I know a lot of people have always said they got the pizza dough, and it's real good for the pizza dough. But, feels unnecessary.
I was telling my dad about the water out here. Because he was trying to tell me about how I would have to.
Oh my God, this house has 12 offers on it. Oh my God, this is gonna be a disaster.
Dang.
But I don't even want to talk about it now. I feel like it's bad luck now to talk about it. But anyhow, it has city water for the house.
Mm-hmm.
So the house you can cook, you can clean. You got the house water. It's all good. It also has an individual well that's rated for irrigation. So it's not tied into the house at all, but it has its own well water for garden, fish room.
That's super rad.
Yeah. So very cool. And I'm pretty excited about it. I just got a text from the agent that says there are 12 offers right now on the house. But we won't find out till 5 or 6. So we'll see what happens. It probably won't happen during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would make it a really long show, and I would get really tired.
We don't have time for that. Guys, we don't have time for that.
I got to go to the store and pick up some milk because we're out.
We don't even have enough questions
No.
or comments or complaints to handle that long of a show because ain't nobody chatting today. I don't know why.
I don't know. I think people just really liked my picture of the female Pleco.
They did. They liked it.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, that's a good sketch.
Yep.
One of the scariest things I've seen on the internet is an out-of-control ski lift. I mean, I guess I would have to see the specific video to get where that's to get where you're coming from. Excuse me. To see where you're coming from, but in my experience, I've ridden a lot of ski lifts in my life. Even if they were like out of control and going fast, they're not that high up. And you're over snow. Like the terrain below you is snow covered.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know, man. Have you ever fallen 30 feet into hard packed snow?
Yes. Yes, many times.
And
on purpose.
What?
What?
That's crazy.
You've never gone off a ledge or off a jump or off a half pipe or off a tabletop or...
Hi, my name is Alyssa, and
Oh.
I am from Minnesota.
I mean, it's like...
Our ski hill was an old quarry.
Okay. Yeah, all right, all right. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, the scariest drop-in I've ever done... So if you go up like Whistler Blackcomb, the scariest one I've ever done, it's like you're at the top, so you kind of ski down. So to get up there, you go on a high-speed quad chair, right?
Okay.
So first you get on a gondola down at the base, which you go way up, and then you get off that, put on your board or your skis. Then you go over to a high-speed quad chair, which is 4 people wide chair. And then you go way up. Then you go and you ski over or you board over. And then you get a rope tow. I'm sure you've seen rope tow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you grab a rope tow that goes like, I don't know. Hard to gauge. 500 feet? 400 feet? 300 feet? I don't know. Like up there to the next 2-chair lift that's... rickety and old, but it goes to the top, and you're way up there, and then you scoot down. Everything is double black diamond up there, so like they won't even let you get on that chair, unless they're like, you know where you're going, right?
Right.
You know what you're expecting. You can handle this, right? And you're like, yeah, and they're like, okay, you can go. I mean, they trust your word, which is weird, but what are you gonna do? So then you go up that chair. And you come off, and then there's 2 ways to go. One goes over that way and kind of you go down the hill. This way, it's just a ledge where you drop in through a chute. And I'll tell you, I stood up there for, I don't know, probably 5 minutes like, okay, all right, am I ready? I don't know if I'm ready yet. Like, oh, like, all right. Someone else going first. Like, let me see what's going on here.
Be all up there going,
Yeah,
1, 2, 3,
and
go. Oh, wait.
luckily, like I had a buddy with me that was like, I've gone down this before. Like, I'll go first. Like, because he was like, he did the like, I'm doing the thing you're doing right now. Like, you're not really sure, but somebody went before him and showed him like the line, like how to get down. Basically, like go this way, right? And he was like, okay, so I'll show you. And I was like, oh, great, because now I'll kind of know where to go. So he went down. I followed him, but it was harebrained. I mean, it wasn't a good idea to have a board to snowboard on that, because the moguls were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet tall or something. So it's like going through them on a board is like not fun, because you got to, it's not a great experience. But
you got to have a lot of lubrication in your joints to be able to do all that.
Ultimately, it was fun. I mean, ultimately it was fun, but it was just kind of like, oh, this is it's a bit much, bro. So
yeah,
that was probably the biggest like known drop. That was an actual route. And then the biggest thing I've ever gone off was, I mean, it looked like it was 60 feet. So it might have been 40. It was the most hilarious, like, cliff you'd ever found to go off of. So we went out of bounds. This was Mount Hood, I think. But we went out of bounds because somebody was like, oh, my God, there's a meadow out here that, you know, like, oh, there's a meadow out here that Scooter told me about or something. You know what I mean? It's like some, harebrained, weird ski bum, Oh, there's a great meadow out here, bro. We got to go check it out, bro. So we went out of bounds, and then we hiked, take your board off, hike through the woods. Oh, here it is. Legit. Found it. Sweet. Strap in, go down the hill, powder, and just off a cliff. You're like, oh, and but it was kind of funny because where you landed had like no slope to it whatsoever. So it was basically bomb off that out into space in the air. Like, I might be dying right now. Okay, wait, no, there's the ground. Okay, I see it. And then just into, I don't know, 10-foot deep powder, stuck. Just completely stuck. Like, just stuck. Digging ourselves out for, like, the next half an hour or something like that. Like, just was pretty weird. Rumba says, question, have you gotten any moist super chats yet today? No. No, by our accounting and records, we have gotten no moist super chats today. So, always give a shout out to Become a Member Today! Yeah. So this house that hopefully we'll see. We put in a pretty generous offer. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. But like I said, it has the well water and the city water.
Yeah,
on location. So it's actually pretty cool because you'd be able to generally do hard water fish, soft water fish, and a mix. So
nice.
Lots of cool projects that I can hopefully we get this place. I really want to get it. Vicky really liked it. We both really liked it. Like, this is it. This is cool. Like, we both like this. So
I saw the listing. It looks really pretty.
Happens.
So
yeah, we'll see what happens. The funny thing is like we stopped there on a lark. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, they're having an open house. I saw this one. I thought it was kind of interesting. Didn't know if we'd wanted to stop at it. It wasn't our plan. Like I said, we stopped at like 5 places that we'd planned to look at. 4 of them were like, dude, no, just no. You know what I mean? And then one was like, yeah, but probably too expensive. I mean, maybe. If we don't get this today, I'm going to put in an offer on that other house, even though someone's probably going to outbid us. I'm still going to put in an offer in case somebody is like, in case other people don't put in on it for some reason. I don't know. But we looked at all those other places, and then it was like, well, we got time. Should we look at anything else while we're here? And I was like, oh, I saw this one. I thought it was kind of interesting. We should go stop by it. And literally, like, Vicky and I pulled up there, and we were like, I want to move here. Like, I want to live here. So hopefully that's a good sign. Maybe maybe Jesus has risen or something. I don't know. Yesterday was Easter. Maybe it's real.
It's also
I don't know. I prayed to big little tiny micro tuxedo wearing baby Jesus, and I didn't win the lottery, so it might not be real. What?
It's also the 14-year anniversary of the day that Peter Steele died.
Peter Steele.
Of typo negative.
Oh, that's right. I always kind of forget that guy's name.
Yeah.
But that's the black,
Yeah.
black,
Mm-hmm.
number one. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your guy?
Yeah.
How tall was that guy?
He was 6'6", I think.
I mean, it's tall.
It's pretty tall.
I mean,
Taller than me.
I mean, Shaq's like 7'1". You got to get in the Wilt Chamberlain height. And then
Well-
you're like, whoa, dude.
To be fair,
Whoa, bro.
I'm always impressed when somebody's actually taller than me.
That's all it takes?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Justin's not taller than you.
I'm not saying that I have to be attracted to the person. I'm just like, wow, taller than me. That's cool.
Oh. Maybe not impressed, but like, I don't know. There's a word. I use words good, bros.
Yeah.
I use words good. Like moist. Did you give a shout out?
To Peter Steele?
No. To Rumbust.
Oh,
Our mustachioed moist man.
we should definitely do that. I just said thank you.
Mustachioed moist man. Rumbust.
Is he Swedish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to
Nice.
Sweden. Oh my god.
And visit all your Swedish friends?
Like, here's one of those things that like that hit me with the losing the 25 grand. It's like, oh, that was traveling money right there. Like, not really, wasn't thinking about it at the time, but that's airfare. That's the airfare fund. Like, oh crap. So we're gonna have to start. Vicky and I are gonna have to start saving money harder again, which is we're gonna go back. We're gonna regress.
I'm just
into
hoping that when you guys
shavings.
get to your new house, which is significantly closer to your work, that your cost in gas will decrease enough to make it be like, whoa, why are we spending so much less money on gas and vehicle maintenance and other crap and that kind of
doesn't
thing.
affect Vicky and I's financial situation.
Oh, okay.
That just Vicky has no idea how much money I spend on gas. I'll put it that way. It does not affect her at all. Not one iota.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a likelihood that I could save like $100 or 100 or maybe $200. To me, it's more the time factor. Like I don't like to burn a bunch of gas, but I can't afford a hybrid. I can't afford an electric vehicle, and even if I could afford an electric vehicle, there only recently is one that came out that is even a truck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like what is it? The Revel or whatever, which does look pretty cool. It looks like a pretty cool truck. But it's like $80,000.
Yeah.
I think to start. I think with all the parts on it, it's like $104,000, which I'm like, I feel like $104,000 I could pay somebody to carry me to work, right? Like just throw me on your back and just carry me there on your feet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that, and then you'd be like, oh, this is happening, right?
Mhm.
This is how I do this. I just throw money at the problem, right?
Right.
And it's just not a viable thing. And so there hasn't been a viable gas vehicle. Any of the gas options that are out there that are new, they still get pretty much the same gas mileage that I'm getting now. I think my truck generally gets, if I'm just kind of freeway driving, like 22 miles to the gallon or something like that. So it's not whoa, but it's also not like
Yeah.
8. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
You're not driving a Humvee.
Yeah, I'm doing the best I can with what I got,
Yeah.
and it would just cost so much money to even make like a lateral move as far as like saving and fuel economy and that kind of stuff. Because I remember we were doing the breakdown one time of like, let's say I bought no gas for a month, right? And you go like, because some months it's $500-600. It's a lot of money spent commuting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even if it's that, like, let's say it's the maximum. Let's say it's $600 a month on fuel, which is crazy. It's that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's still only $7,200 a year, right? And the car payment alone on a $100,000 car, or an $80,000 car, or a $70,000 car, or whatever. So every 20 grand, you're generally going to pay between $280 and $300 a month, right? So let's say we just say it's $300 a month for every 20 grand,
Mm-hmm.
right? Times 5 or times 4, right?
Yeah.
So you start to kind of go like, oh, wait a minute, paying for the new car is $1,200 a month, and I'm saving $600 a month. But I'm not actually saving $600 a month. I'm just spending $1,200 a month instead of $600 a month, right?
Right. Right.
So it's not, you can't really go like, I'm saving, right? Because you're not,
Right.
you know, like, so that's kind of one of those things where you're just like, I do want to help the environment. It's not financially viable. You know, we wanted to switch the house here to solar, and it was not financially viable. Like, it would take us I forget what it was. Like, I think it was going to take something like 60 years to pay off the solar conversion with electrical savings,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I think our total cost was going to be like $58,000, I think. That seems right. But let's just say it was 50. Let's just say it was $50,000, right? And if you go, how much is our electric bill? It's around $150 a month, right? So $1,800 a year.
Okay.
Let's round up and say $2,000 a year, right? And then you start doing the math on that, and you go 25 years. Okay, so that's 25 years, but also we're going to be paying interest, and we're also still going to be paying the electrical connection fee. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just starts to like expand this into, well, I'd like to make a dent in the helping with the thing, and then, but it's going to take me 35 years to make. And then also, who knows if it's a good idea or not, really, when you get down to it. You're just like, oh, it's kind of a mess.
True.
So, you know, my plans were to kind of switch over the, you know, future fish room, whatever that's going to be, to probably like a 4 or an 8 panel system with probably stack of like 10 battery bank or something like that, and just see if I can't get and keep the fish room on a solar system, and then just be like, well, you know, that's a part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like a part of it, part of trying to help,
Right.
and see if that's actually viable or not. But, you know, you're also got to take into consideration, like, how much does it cost to make all of that stuff, like, as far as like environmental damage goes. And, you know, one of the things I was looking at was the difference between electric vehicles and gas vehicles, right? Is like gasoline burns in your car at like a 25 to 30% efficiency, right?
I don't know.
You don't know, but yeah, that's what it said.
Okay.
And so if you're talking about the fuel being burned at like an electrical power plant, or if you're like trying to do a parallel equation between burning gas in a car or using like an electric car on just a 1-to-1 consumption, that like the electricity is produced at a 60%, between 60 and 70% efficiency on how much fuel it takes to make that electricity, right? So there is like a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio of like using the electricity is less wasteful than gasoline, but how much more efficient is the solar versus how the power plant is making the electricity. That's really kind of difficult to figure out. Plus the production of all of the solar stuff, that also contributes to the waste. Paula Kreinberg says, the price of electricity will keep going up, though, so maybe it will pay off sooner. Yeah, but we don't know that. We don't know that there's no guarantee that the price of electricity will forever go up. You never know. Somebody might figure out cold fusion next year or 5 years from now, and all of a sudden we can produce monumental amounts of electricity at like a very, very, very little cost, and there's really no reason that anybody wouldn't switch over to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, a lot of people would probably drag their heels and try to maintain the capitalist consumption model of like, well, we make the electricity for you, give us money, right? But you know, it's hard to say like what the future is, right? And like a good example of that would be Vicky and I are saving for Olivia's college fund, right? We're saving for Olivia's future or whatever, but we assuredly don't know that colleges are going to cost money 20 years from now. Like, we don't know that, right? There's a probability that she will need money when she's 20 to 25, right?
Right.
So it's in our best interest to save money for her, but we also don't know that colleges are going to cost $80,000 a year like they do now,
right?
20 years from now. We don't know that.
Or $150,000 a year.
Or $150,000 a year. Or,
right.
You know, maybe it's going to go down.
Maybe.
And it goes to $15,000 a year, and it's like, oh, we have plenty of money for you to go to college. Here you go. Mm-hmm. You know, no problem. There you go. Go to college.
Yeah.
Go
which would be super cool.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Like, maybe a lot of colleges are going to be hybrid. They're going to be online, or 100% online, or virtual, or who knows. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know.
So, yeah, it's very difficult to go like, what's the future going to be, especially when applied to like gigantic markets that everyone needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That everyone is going to need access to. You know, it's like drinking water, right? Like, a lot of people are getting freaked out by Nestle and Coca-Cola for like just gobbling up water rights,
right? Which is,
you know,
like I'm glad that we have drinkable water,
mm-hmm.
but we don't live somewhere where we don't.
Yeah, Mickham says to start cycling, everybody. Hey, I love riding bikes, and I would encourage people to ride bikes if that's something that
I
you
thought he
enjoy.
meant like cycling in an aquarium.
Yeah. I highly recommend that, but you know, it's a lot easier to say that from like developed European countries where you're just like, hey, just use the transit, like just use mass transit, just ride your bikes, just do that stuff. I can say that from personal experience of having been to Hungary, Germany, Austria, Netherlands, like, right? Like, I've been to a bunch of those countries, and I could say like it's viable there, where you're like,
right,
you just ride your bicycle over there
because you're not,
you know,
having to go 150 miles every day or
right.
whatever.
Like, for me to go to work, I take like 1,000 pounds of tools with me.
Can you imagine how big
know.
your glutes and stuff would be just trying to bike all that 1,000 pounds worth of tools and just bicycle, just rah.
Yeah, like 70 miles each way. I just
Yes.
would not get to work. That's the thing. Like,
You'd have to be like a horse. Just like,
well, no, I would just not get there.
I know.
Like, even if you're going, even if you're going on average, like, if you're a really good cyclist, you could probably average like 18 miles an hour,
Yeah.
up and down hills and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think some of the really good guys average like 25 miles an hour, but I wouldn't even put myself in that category. But it would take me like that would mean it would take me 4 hours to get to work.
Yeah.
And be physically exhausted when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be able to work the day, 10 hours, then turn around and at least 4 hours to get home and be physically exhausted from that.
Right.
And then proceed to die after a week of doing it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be dead. So
Would be a lot of, yeah. So I wanted to answer some questions in the chat.
Yeah, there you go. We got some now.
Yeah.
Rockhard Tank says, Pleco question. I have 3 long-finned blue-eyed lemons. Too young to sex for me anyway. I've never seen them eat, and they look so thin. Why are they resealing my street when it's supposed to rain? Oh, it's a multiple question here. I mean, I put rapashi in there, but it's like they don't care. Snails are really happy, though.
So if you have them, if they're new to your tanks and you've never seen them eat, they probably don't. They're probably looking for instinctual food, which for them would be biofilm that's growing within the tank already. And your snails are probably beating them to it a bit. What I would do in your case, rock hard tanks, I think you're in Texas, you said, once upon a time. And so you probably get a lot of warmth and light where you are. I'm just going to blanket the entire state of Texas as being the same. So what I would do is get an aquarium with glass, a glass aquarium or acrylic or whatever you want to do, and just put like a bunch of rocks in it and some old aquarium water in that tank, and just let it sit there in the sun so that it's getting sun on it, and can grow like goopy green algae, and then let those plecos eat that algae. Also, if you have any way you're in America, so get some newer driftwood, like new driftwood, and put that in the tank as well, and let that start growing that gross white goopy nastiness, and they'll eat that too because they love it. They freaking love it, man. And once they have started actually eating, it'll be a lot easier to feed them things like rapashi. If you have plecos elsewhere in your fish room that actually are eating the rapashi, if you put your lemons in with your other pleco and your other pleco is eating the rapashi, they'll know that that's rapashi, that's food, that's for them to eat. There's a little bit of a social thing that happens with them. And then the other thing is Bacter AE is a very good product. It promotes the growth of tank slime or offlooks or whatever you want to call it in the tank, which they eat. Like I've got fish that I've got a tank where some of the fish, if I don't dose Bacter AE, they will start getting skinny. And so I just dose that tank every other day with the stuff. And that is the things that I would do in order to make sure that they are eating. And once they start eating and starting to fill out, you can start looking to make sure they don't have parasites or something. But the first step is to get them eating, because a pleco that's not eating is definitely not going to make it. So they need to eat all the time, just all the time, constantly. Constant graze. Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's what you would do?
That's what I would do.
Mixing it up?
Yep.
Hey, man, we got a super chat. Danish style. From
Heck yeah.
Soren Albigard. With no question on it.
Bildgard.
I was hoping there'd be a question in there.
There's not.
No
but
question, dude.
He does say hi from Denmark.
Yeah. But hi from Denmark.
Hell yeah.
What's up? My long-lost Danish relatives. The Danes, as they were. The Denmarkian. Hey. Rockart Tanks, I can do those suggestions. I've been using the Bacter AE, but not every day, so I'll get started everything. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, as far as like feeding anything, like variety is always going to be kind of key, and especially if you're trying to induce appetite in fish that like sort of have no appetite, is like it's always a good idea to utilize things like Bacter A and stuff like that you can kind of try to build up, foods that you're not really, you can't see them. Basically, is a good way to put it. If you can build up the no-see-ums and infusoria and stuff like that, it's always going to be a good, not always. You're typically going to see a better outcome if you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. It's I've definitely had fish that I thought were definitely going to die. Like so if you have a female pleco, usually their stomachs are going to stick out a little bit. Like if they're up against the glass, you can see it like this. I've definitely had a pleco where the stomach was convex or convex. Yeah, and it was pretty scary because you could see like tendons and stuff. I'm like, something's going on with this fish, and I'm like, I don't know if it's worms or what, and I just started doing Bacter A, new wood, and then like a couple days later you'd see her and she's just a little like just flat, and I'm like, okay, we're on our way back.
Something good's happening.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the same thing as right after they lay eggs, because there's definitely, you get a little bit after they lay eggs, but this was just like, this fish looked like it hadn't eaten, and
in a long time.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say it's like a lot of people, before they ship fish, they will starve them for a while before they do, in order to not put a bunch of poop in the bag, which makes sense. Now with people, if people go on like a fast for like 5 or 7 days or something, and they just don't eat anything, they just drink water, then if you try to just eat normal food right after that, they're gonna get sick. They're just gonna get sick. It's called refeeding syndrome, where the body doesn't know what the heck to do with it. The bacteria that normally they would have to take care of the food that's in your system is gone, and it just goes flushing right on out. And I don't recommend it. And so anyways, I that's why you want to start with soft foods after fish hasn't been eaten for a long time. Food that's really easy to digest for the fish. And they might not take to repashy right away. They can get like bloated and that kind of stuff. It's not great.
It sounds not great.
Yeah. Sorry.
Repashy's too much. Well, I don't know. It's just...
Yeah.
The feet's is wiggling around down there.
Yeah, I don't sit still very well.
Hilarious. Apollo with the follow-up of, yes, we do. We know the price is going to go up. I mean, if you have a crystal ball that competes with mine, I would love to have some future readings of what's going on, because I got to recoup some stock losses here. I guess we'll call them stock losses because it's funny. I lost in the stock market, guys. I don't know. Your dad was talking about stocks earlier today.
Oh yeah.
Was he telling you the hot buys?
Yeah. Yeah. He was telling me to sell what I have right now and buy this other one. And
buy
I was
this other
like,
stock.
It's like, all right. He's like, but don't do it right now. You got to wait until it's between 9:30 and 10 o'clock your time, and then buy it. And I'm like, oh, okay, Dad.
Strong.
Yeah.
He's got some serious stock tips.
Yeah, it's my dad.
Yeah. I always take that stuff with a grain of salt for sure. So I'm like, if you're that good at like predicting the stock market, like why don't you have $1 billion? Because there is a guy that knows how to do it, and he owns Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah, that guy, Warren Buffett.
Oh yeah.
Warren Buffett. Where's Warren Buffett when we need to like We need some funding. You know, where you at, Warren Buffett? Buffet. Where you at, dude? What's going on? Yeah. He doesn't know we exist. That's the problem.
Probably, yeah.
If he knew, he'd be like, "Dang, I gotta get in on this hot ticket. Hot ticket. I'm in." You gotta. What is he? There's the thing that like he lives humbly or whatever because he eats at McDonald's every day in the morning.
Ugh. I mean, maybe
It's very yuck, but he's an old man that's just doing the same thing. Like,
I just like it.
I read a biography on him at one point, and apparently his kids thought that they didn't know that their dad was a billionaire. He I forget what did he tell his kids? I think he told his kid that he was a marketing systems analyst,
Oh, Sisan.
right?
Yeah.
And so his kid thought that he installed like
Lines.
yeah.
Yeah.
He thought that he was just some installer guy or whatever, right? Which is hilarious to think. Like, what? Okay. It's very weird though, but that guy's the unicorn though. You know what I mean? Like that guy's the abnormal, that's not the normal billionaire thing. I know they all like to act like I'm so humble.
Right.
Guys, don't you know? I'm so humble. I was just so humble. But Warren Buffett's not even that humble even, you know.
I don't
'Cause
even know what I would do.
I remember somebody was like, they were arguing that Warren Buffett doesn't own a private jet. But the easy rebuttal for that is like, yeah, but Berkshire Hathaway owns a fleet of private jets, and they just fly him whenever he wants to fly somewhere or whatever, right? And you're like, oh yeah, so technically he doesn't own his own Warren plane.
Right.
You know, so you're like, yeah, but he seems like a nice guy every time I've seen interviews with him. You know, unlike some of the creeps that are out there
Yeah.
that don't seem like normal humans.
Right.
Are they lizard people?
Could be.
It's possible. I don't think it's true, but it's possible. Safeway just sent me an email saying that COVID tests are now available.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. A couple of years late, but all right. Strong. Thanks, Safeway. Thanks
All right.
for the email.
That's cool.
Oh, my lumber order. I'm gonna close that. I don't want to read the lumber order to you guys.
Right. I mean, it was all over the road on I-5 when I was on.
Somebody spilt lumber all over the place. Oh, we should enter the green room, and just in case anybody wants to call in today. Is anybody calling in today? No. We'll see. We'll see if somebody calls in. See if somebody wants to call in and ask Alyssa a question about fish.
Oh, maybe.
Paula says the main problem with solar, aside from the lithium shortage, is that all the installation/lease companies are scammy. Not all of them, but I think if you do opt for a solar installation, do some real due diligence on the company that you're hoping to bring on board to do that work for you. You want to make sure 100% check their check their license, check reviews with the Better Business Bureau, make sure they've been around for a long time. Find some people that have worked with them, because there are a lot of scammy ones out there. So I would recommend to anybody to do your due diligence for sure. That is a good point to bring up for sure, 100%. Let's see here. Can I read? I don't know how to read.
Huh.
I feel ya. I know I've had. I feel ya. I know I've had great Mexican food if it only stays with me for 20 to 30 minutes. That is not a good sign of good Mexican food, okay? Good Mexican food you should not get food poisoning from.
I have never gotten food poisoning from Mexican food.
I think what's interesting is most people don't realize that they've gotten food poisoning.
Oh.
Most people don't. Most food poisoning is pretty mild. You know, like you have a robust poop or
whatever.
You know, yeah. I mean, most of the symptoms of mild food poisoning are just most people just like attribute it to aches and pains and just being a human kind of stuff more often than not. There was a weird statistic that I read that I think the average person, or it was like 1 out of 4 people gets food poisoning every month or something like that, right? Like you're like, oh damn, everybody's cross-contaminating and doing all sorts of weird stuff, aren't they? Because like the biggest outbreak of food poisoning, I think, in the United States was, and why Mexican restaurants have this reputation is that it was a Mexican restaurant in California that was making these giant batches of refried beans, and they were putting them in hotel pans or these big giant Lexan containers that were super deep, super long, and super wide. There's gallons and gallons and gallons of beans, and then they would put them in the cooler to cool off. Well, the middle part of that is really insulated, right?
Yeah, so it would just stay hot.
It would stay hot and warm for a really long time. It takes a long time to cool off a big brick of hot, right? Especially with air, right?
Right.
Yeah, just cold air blowing on the outside of it. Like, hey, I'm cold. What's up? So it became that's where they traced it to. They traced this big food poisoning outbreak back to there, and to no fault of the restaurant, they weren't doing it on purpose. It was just definitely nothing that they were doing on purpose. They were like, just, hey, this is how you make the beans, and then you put them in there and you cool them off, right? And they're like, yeah, right, but turns out we got to change the rules.
Yeah.
So everything had to be in a 2-inch pan after that, which, you know, admittedly, if you were a weird conspiracy theorist person, you'd be like, this is probably just propaganda from one of the pan companies to sell more pans. Big Pan, right?
Big Pan.
Big Pan is lobbying, right?
Big Pan is in league with
Cambro. Cambro, Big Pan brought to you by Cambro is lobbying to change the laws.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, yeah, if you were a big conspiracy theorist, you could probably go down that route, right? But we're not. We're sane thinking people that realize that bacteria can grow in warm environments that are moist and
so moist,
full of sugars and fats.
Yes.
Which is what bacteria needs to grow.
As beans are.
And as we're all fish nerds, we know 80-degree water with free-floating sugars, right? Mm-hmm. And fats and ammonia will create bacterial growth.
Yeah. In
the water. Because it's warm. It's moist. And it has features that grow bacteria. Mickham says, everyone wants scarlet females here as well. I have a guy.
Who knows a guy?
If I want some, perhaps my next project, since they are quite easy to breed. They are quite easy to breed. It's just difficult to find females in order to breed.
Yeah.
Like, the breeding process isn't all that difficult.
No. You'd almost have to know somebody who's got this big 60-gallon tank cube in her basement with a whole big mess of them.
What? What's happening right now?
Oh, I have a whole bunch of Scarlet Batis females and males in my basement.
Yeah, I want some of them. But I got to move first.
Right. That's why I haven't given you any yet.
I got to move.
I'm not going to give you a bag full of fish that you're going to be like, I can't do anything with this crazy lady.
Yeah. I got to move, dude.
Yeah.
It is my goal to break down one of the tanks today. I'll see if I have time to do it. Like I said, Vicky wasn't feeling good, so I don't want to start that project and not finish it.
Yeah.
Because I ran out of time.
Breaking down tank. Tank.
I want to break down one of the 120s today and get that all cleaned up and packed away. But, 5 o'clock comes quick. And I had a bunch of work to do this morning that was not fish tank related. So I got all that done. So we're good on that front.
So far, Mickham, I've been using my Scarlet Batis females breeding trios or whatever as really nice bribes for people. Like, hey, I'll trade you some of these for something else.
That's a good trade.
It's been working out great so far.
Yeah, that's a good. Actually, that's a pretty good one. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm leaving the green room because nobody called in. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
The thing keeps flashing at me that I'm in there, and I don't want that. Let's see. 10 tubs of food all served with the same contaminated paddle. Well, while it is an issue to stir food with cross-contaminated utensils, typically you wouldn't see that happen from food that was reheated properly. So once you reach the proper reheating temperature of whatever item it happens to be, which is generally over 150 degrees, you should be fine. Although I don't recommend using cross-contaminated utensils. It's generally not the culprit.
Yeah. I'm not above taking the utensil over to the sink really quick, soap, squeeze it out, get it all nice and clean, and then use it for something else if I need to.
Just wash your utensils?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's reasonable advice.
It works really good because my sink is right there.
Alana Suki's here asking if your toes are still crossed.
Yeah, that's why I keep shifting around over here and kicking stuff.
Yeah, her toes have fallen asleep and it feels like her feet are going to fall off, I'd guess, by this point.
Yeah.
I bought Shopify cheap and sold it at 1,000% appreciation. I'm fairly well off. Well, that's good.
Good.
That is actually, hey, good job. Congrats, Paula. That's awesome. The main problem, oh yeah, we already read that. My grandfather-in-law was a mob accountant. He showed me how to get a house loan on the basis of a fictional personal net worth statement and 35% down. I think if you have 35% down, they're going to give you a loan sort of regardless of your credit rating. I mean, let's say you bought a $500,000 house. Mm-hmm. That means that you're putting down $175,000 in cash. I think pretty much any bank would give you a loan if that's your collateral. If your collateral is like $175,000, they're probably going to give you a loan, unless there's like a million red flags,
right,
about what you've been up to for the last accumulating that money. I think, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a lot of collateral for the bank to get from you when you default, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, sure. Well, yeah, man, go for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go wild. Go get that house. We might end up owning that house, and your money. So cool,
Right.
Banks like to do stuff like that because they're risk averse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they'd be like, "There's not a lot of risk here. There's a lot of reward." So they'd probably do it. Big pan for little pan? Don't know. Peter Pan. Yes. Got it.
Pan.
Pan.
Yes.
That's a good thing with rare fish. Start breeding one. It might give you access to several more species. That's true. That's always kind of one of the big upsides that I forget about on a regular basis is that, like, somebody with another rare species will likely be down to just trade for your rare. Mm-hmm. So it's not even like a cash thing anymore of like, my fish is worth $100. Like, my fish worth $80.
Right.
Let's fight. Give me an extra $20. You just kind of be like, hey, let's just trade.
Yeah, let's just
trade. Like, they'd be like, you know what? I'm a totally reasonable fish keeper person. Let's make that happen.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rosie wants to know if I keep my Batis in a community tank. I think it depends. It's a Scarlet Batis community where there's just like a whole bunch of Scarlet Batis and Ancestris Claro, Ancestris not Claro, and also the one L255 Pleco, just kind of chilling in there. And then I've got Caradina Weberi, which I think are the golden backs or something like that, and also my painted fire red shrimp in there as well, just in case I can't feed them a whole bunch of brine shrimp every single day. I've still got baby shrimp that they can nom on, But yeah, it's a pretty happy little community. It's a big tank, and you look at it, and it just looks like a bunch of plants. And then you have to go all the way up to the glass and be like,
Look in there.
what's going on in here?
Find out what's happening in that tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real fun when I feed, though, because then all the baddest will come all up kind of together in like a swirl and just like chase after the... Yeah, it's pretty
The
cool.
feedins.
Yeah, it's
Them's
pretty
foods.
cool. So big tank, lots of scarlet baddest, males and females, mostly females. It's pretty cool. It's pretty rad.
What's your advice on the Scarlet Baddest for breeding ratio, male to female?
I would put 2 females to a male.
Are you going just 2 to 1?
Yep, just 2 to 1.
That's pretty easy to maintain.
Yeah, seems to work pretty
I
well.
know how to count, but come on. You know?
Right. I mean, that's what I started with, and then I didn't even realize that they were breeding.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I was looking into the tank, and I saw the ittiest bittiest little movement dart into some algae, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" You know, like really close, and I just kind of like got like my tweezle twazzles. And I just kind of poked around in there a bit, and I saw one come out, go, and come back in. And I was like, is that a Scarlet Baddest baby?
There's little babies.
Oh my God. And then after a while, I started noticing that there was tons of them in there. Not tons. It was like 20 in this 15-gallon tank. And I was like, let's upgrade it to the 60. And so now they're in there, and I have absolutely no idea how many are in there. I have pulled out a couple of trios, but that's it. Not too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 to 1's pretty. I mean, 2 to 1's pretty easy to maintain. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and there does seem to be more males than females, and in a 60-gallon tank, there's plenty of space for them to eke out their tiny little territories.
Right. How many did you start with?
Just a trio, 1 male and 2 females. Or sorry, it was 1 for sure male, 1
And then you've got a bunch that are grown up from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's easiest to go like, well, how many grown up ones do I have now? You know, and you're like, I don't know, let's count 40 or something. You know, you're
Right.
Like, well, there's a lot. Okay.
It's weird because so the club that I'm in, the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society, they've got their Breeders Award program, and a lot of like I'm not good at the Breeders Award program. Yeah, I breed things, but the thing that they want is like accurate counts. Like, okay, so how many hatched out? I'm like,
Right.
I don't know.
100.
And they're like, well, how many do you have now? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, did you see them breed? And I'll be like, yes, I saw them do the embrace thing the same way that bettas do. I saw eggs come out. And yeah, so that has happened. I've seen that happen, but I haven't watched any hatching. I'm not separating the eggs from the parents or anything like that. That
Right.
doesn't seem to be necessary.
Separate breeding tanks and
Yeah.
hatching tanks.
Yeah. It's pretty.
I've always
pretty
kind
cool.
of ever since I gave up on whatever focus I had on breeding projects, I've generally switched over to the just like naturalist method of like, hey, there's a bunch of babies, check it out, they're doing good, let's see how they do. Like, let's go, you know, here's a good environment, but I'm not hand of God with
Right.
these busters, you know. It's like, let's see who makes it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just, that's just with them. It's like my focus is the Plecos. So these guys just breed, and that's cool. But I'm not like there's other people in the club that are much better at like counting their fish and that kind of stuff. And it's just not me.
Right. It's hard when you're like, it's difficult when you're not, when you don't have like a serious amount of time to dedicate towards whatever like specific project you're working on to really go like, because it just gets out of hand so easily, like so readily. Things just get like, oh God, what happened? You know, and so that's why for me it's like I always think it's better for me to just stick with my natural style, because like next thing I know I'll have like 300 tiny tanks that are all like, oh, this is this fish and that's that, and I got these guys, and then I got mops in here, and I gotta, you know, now I gotta put in an air system so I can run air stones and all these ones, but not those ones, and then those ones over there, and you know, and it's just too much. It's just too much for a reasonably busy person to handle. Like, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, if my kids were grown and out of the house and I didn't have to work like a lot. You gotta go.
I gotta go to. I'll be right back.
All right. BRB. LOL. Ha ha ha. But like, if I was if I was in that position, which there are a lot of people I know that are in that, they're in that specific position, right? Like, what happened to I think the color on this is weird. Hold on a second. There. Oh, now I'm like all sorts of weird. Hold on. That's too much. Okay, there we go. But I know a lot of people that are in that position where like the kids are grown, work is kind of like mitigated down a bit. You know, you're not like on that full mode of you know, burning midnight oil and doing all that kind of stuff, that it sort of acquired more time to their day to do sort of dedicated stuff around the house. It makes sense to me where they would get into doing things like that even more, because you have more time. It's not so much the financial side of it. It's just how much time do you have to dedicate towards something. Oh my God, guys. There's an elephant in the room. Rosie, congratulations. You've become a new member to the channel to help support making YouTube content about fish and stuff like that. Very much appreciate it. Thank you. If you are a person out there and want to become a member, click on that link right there that I just posted in the chat. As I always say jokingly, become a member today. But yeah, thank you very much. Rosie's other question was, I got 3 males, of course, trying to figure out where to put them. Oh yeah, I mean, if you have 3 males of kind of any fish, it can be a bit of a trouble to like kind of figure out a good community space for them to just chill. We got to update our member number here. Watch, we can do it this way. Boom. We're up to 80 now. That's wild. Okay. I'm getting closer to the moist tattoo. And then, how many patrons are we at now? Oh, here's what's weird. We're going to go back over to the split screen in just a second here, and the number is going to be the same. We're still at 218 because we're at 138 patrons. A big shout out to Scott for becoming a member on the Patreon. There we go. Which is funny because we're going to go back over here to the split screen. Action.
I'm back.
Return of Alyssa.
Heck yeah.
There we go. We're back. And we're still at 218 for the moist tattoo. So we need more patrons and more members. If you guys want me to get a moist tattoo, you know? We tried to do the birthday stream, 300,000 members. It didn't work.
Oh, well.
We fell 300,000 short. So, yeah.
Well.
We're going to need back to your test members. Okay, let's do it. Let's get it going good, man. All right, let's do it. Yeah.
I would laugh.
Rosie says, I hate to do that with the painted red, but so you feed your baby brine shrimp mainly.
Yeah, I know, but the painted fire red shrimps, it's like
they breed like crazy.
I have the problem of being way overstocked with them, and I'm like, well, if they're going to be in here and breeding, and I'm sure the occasional baby is going to get missed, and so my population is going to grow regardless. Mm-hmm. I figure the shrimp should at least be very pretty.
Right.
And they really do stand out in that tank. So That's just
It's true.
right now. It just looks like a
especially
shrimp
when
tank.
you have sort of a natural style tank. It's like, I mean, you can have 500 shrimp in there and not really know it. Like, oh, there's a lot, but you don't even really know what the population is, and it's just like
Yeah.
they're still in there. They're healthy. They're eating. They're breeding. They're doing all that stuff. It's like why interject and worry about a couple of them getting eaten, because a couple of them are gonna not make it anyhow.
Yeah.
You know. And who knows? Maybe the ones that are getting eaten are the ones that are like about to die. So
Could be.
could break even on you anyhow, regardless.
Very good. I think I need a stronger light in that tank, though. I've just got one of those Blue Bell Nanos, and all my hair algae is dying. And that's just, I'm like, I need that hair algae, man.
You need that hair algae.
Yeah.
You're into it.
Well, the fish, they hide in it.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I could be all like, oh, I'm going to do carpeted tank, and then they can hide in the carpet. Nah. Screw that.
Oh. All right.
I'll let other people do that. I've got plecos. They kind of
It's
stir
true.
up the gravel
It's
a lot.
true. They really mess with carpet.
Yeah.
With any kind of carpet plants, it just turns into a disaster.
Right.
Especially when you put the carpet in, and then the next day you come and look at your tank,
And it's all
and
up at the top.
floating up
Yeah.
at the top because somebody was rabble rousing in the middle of the night in the tank. I've even had like pretty bad success with having a pre-established carpeted tank and then putting a Pleco in. I've even had bad experiences with that, where it's like, hey, this should be fine. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can. They're persistent. They're persistent little buggers. You know, they're going for it.
I think
Which I appreciate. I appreciate the level of.
What about
they're
autos?
at.
Do those mess up?
No,
No,
autos
I
are
would do
fine.
autos. Probably not the giant autos that I have, but smaller ones.
Right.
One of these days, I should keep smaller autos.
I want to get one of those phase 3. You know what I'm talking about?
The Plecos?
Yeah.
Oh, the ones that turn gold after.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I wonder if I still have a picture in here that I can find of the phase 3. Johan and I saw phase 3. Well, okay, let me backtrack. The first phase 3 that I saw was with Corey at Aquarium Glazer, which Aquarium Glazer is like one of the renowned fish wholesalers in the world, you know. And it was a real privilege to go there.
Yeah.
And it was funny because that wholesaler was so sort of prolific that this fish wasn't even like a highlighted fish in the place, right? Like it was just like, oh yeah, that fish is here, you know, like not out where anybody could see it or anything crazy like that. Of course, no, I can't find an image of it. I thought I might have had it in this file, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it, so whatever.
Yeah, there could be like a million fish in there.
There's a million pictures in this computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was there. It was the first time I saw one, and I was just like, "Whoa, dude, that's wild." And they were like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and you know, I was like, "How much is this fish?" And they're like, "I don't know, like 4,000 euro or whatever." And you're like, "Oh my god."
We're like, how many zebra plecos do I have to breed to afford that one?
Yeah, you're like. So then I'm trying to do the math in my head, right? Of like, how much, you know, like it's like $6,000, you know. Okay, that's too much. And then we saw another one. All right, here's a good. Where's the one that I saw? It's probably a lot like this. Let's go. Can we save this image without going in there? Okay, there we go. So then we go over here, and then we push this button, image file. Then we push this button, then we go open, like
Boom.
this. There you go. And so then we saw this one. Johan and I saw this one in the Netherlands. It was like, oh my god. how much is that fish? And you know, I forget how much they had it up there. It was like, I don't know, 3,000 or something. You know, and you're like, okay, still
Oh, it's a bargain, you guys.
still an unattainable object. You know. Well, I think in my understanding, when the one we saw in the store, it was what is it? What fish is this? Lutea or whatever, I think. Like hyposantrus lutea or something. I don't know,
Hypansis or something.
Hyposantrus or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember the Latin name for it. I think it had been in the store and had just grown up there, and then they just moved it to a bigger tank because they were like, we don't have a tank that is fitting it, and they were like, oh, we have a big tank, and put it over there because they're, you know, and they were like, well, hopefully somebody buys it because it's too expensive, and we just have it here in a tank, and we're a store, so we generally would want to sell it because it's kind of what stores do, right?
Hypancistris luteus.
Luteus.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was like lutea, but I'm wrong.
I like
That's a
it
plant.
before it loses all its color. Before it turns into a gold thing. When it's got all the spots.
Yes, that's phase 2.
Yeah, I like that.
Phase 2 is the spots. But yeah, I mean, really cool fish. That's just on my bucket list of like, someday I'll have a giant tank and I can have a giant fish and it's gonna be rad, you know. But probably not. I mean, let's be honest.
I would buy it at phase 1. Phase 1 is pretty as well.
Yeah. Oh, I would have to buy them small.
Yeah.
Small-ish, right?
Yeah.
And then hope someday that they breed.
It would be like
But it's my impression that they don't breed until they get big,
probably.
you know.
That
So,
makes sense.
who knows?
It reminds me of, so I went down to Olympia, not this last weekend, but the weekend before. And we went to the Pet Works, which is a pet store that actually has a decent fish section and
Right.
stuff. And they had all like a puffer wall, basically, like all the kinds of puffers you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a Fajaka puffer that was this big.
Oh, being very sneaky.
It was so small. I was like, what is that, a pea puffer? And I'm like, nope, that's a Fajaka.
That's gonna be a big.
That's
That's
gonna be a
fish.
big boy.
That's gonna be a big fish. I think Mabu is the biggest puffer, right?
I think it's supposed to be the biggest freshwater puffer. I think.
Let's look it up.
Okay. They did have, I think, a Mabu. But it was like this big? Anyways.
No, Mabu,
they had some
commonly
very
referred to
small
as the
ones.
giant freshwater puffer fish due to its massive size, growing to a length of 26 inches.
Yeah.
So it says Mabu is the biggest. Yeah, Mabu. Tetraodon. Oh, here's a video here.
Is it of Murphy?
It's of Murphy. Yeah.
Whenever I go to a store,
It's crazy to think that, like, if you look up pufferfish, you are going to see an image
of a fish that you
of
know,
a fish that I know. It's so weird.
be like, "Oh, hey Murphy, what's up, man?"
It's even weirder when
I always say hi to Murphy.
It's even
when
weirder
I see
when
him.
I look stuff up that I'm researching or something, and I see a video of myself, and I'm all like, "That's me. Ugh. Yuck. That's gross. Get out of here." You know, that's very weird, but yeah, it's still interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
Sharpie's fish says evening pufflings.
Pufflings.
Pufflings. I don't know what that means. It's probably a Harry Potter thing. I don't know.
Sounds adorable.
Rosie says, my painted reds are supporting my hobby at my local fish store. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately one of the biggest selling points. I've always told people to consider shrimp breeding if you're going to be in freshwater aquarium hobby. There's really no reason for you to not be breeding some shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there just really isn't a reason. I don't. I mean, other than like, I don't like that and I don't want to do that. But
Right.
I'm like, maybe you don't like that, but it makes it easier to sell them, you know, because every local fish store needs more shrimp, especially local bred shrimp. And even if you're just getting store credit, like
store credit is
as
good.
a hobbyist, you're like, dude, store credit is store credit. Like that's money to spend on your hobby without putting cash out of your pocket, right? So
Right.
I think it's a real viable way to offset your hobby costs and that kind of stuff, and and also the added benefit of like building relationships with people that's like at the store or even customers that are like, when's Alyssa going to bring in shrimp? When's she bringing in shrimp? Do you know? Like, and it's like, I don't know. Become friends with her, and you can probably just buy some shrimp from her, or something. I've seen that happen time and time again for sure. You know, or especially they go like.
In fact, if people want shrimp
hey,
from me, they
you're
should
always-
probably just contact me directly.
Or they go like, hey, you're always bringing in fish or whatever. Like, have you thought about going to the local fish club and you didn't know it existed? Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's on this day over here. Like, it'd be cool if you showed up or whatever. Just building relationships with people is paramountly important, especially in this day and age. Like, everyone. And when I say everyone, if somebody argues with me about the 5% that don't, it's just kind of pointless, right? But everyone spends a lot of time on the internet. Everyone spends a lot of time accessing and having conversations and stuff like that through the internet. It's always going to be for the benefit of every person out there to build some relationships with people in the real world. We get to talk to them. It's good for you, right?
Yes.
Society goes nowhere if only one person is running it. If there's only one person involved, it just dies. That's how it goes. So it's good and beneficial in my opinion. As posted here, individualism is rubbish. The individual is an entirely powerless unit. It could not give birth to itself. It cannot raise itself, educate itself, or change the world itself. It is entirely a product of the people and environment around it. Right? So that's just a old saying, an old adage from somebody that they converted to English that's just trying to explain community is key, and having personal relationships with other people is the fundamental, the basis of how humanity has gotten to where we're at now. So we should try to do that and not be super isolated like fish keeping people, right? Which, some people will be like, well, then you should go to some conventions, and I'll be like, I lost all my travel money in a bad house deal that went bad, and I don't think I can spend that this year. I really want to go, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can convince the parties involved that. Yeah.
There's a big difference for me between going to a convention where you don't get to know people. You just like find out their names and then forget their names quickly, because that's how my brain works apparently. Versus going to a fish club where you see like the same people every month, and you start to slowly actually get to know them over time.
Right.
So like a convention is not like I'm going to make 30 friends and they're going to be my best friends and I'll know them forever and blah, 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 blah. A convention is kind of like a high stress environment for me. So it's kind of why I don't go to conventions all the time. But it's like I have specific ones that I want to go to, but I'm not just going to go to a convention because everybody's talking about it. I don't know if that makes
Emerald
any
City
sense.
Comic-Con?
No.
You're not going?
No.
Oh. I like to go when we get to be behind the scenes.
Yeah. I used to volunteer at SoccerCon.
Sakura-Con?
Yeah. I'm not really a big anime nerd or anything, but I had friends who were, and I used to just go and make sure that the kids weren't poking each other in the eyeball with sticks. That was pretty much it.
That's a good point.
I'd just go to like a certain area and just be like, hey, I know you guys have those fake swords. Put them back at your hip.
Quit trying to stab people, weirdo. Crystal Harmony wants to know, I have a Caridina shrimp tank that the pH is 6.8. Will they breed? I have no idea. I have no idea how you take care of your tank or anything.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with the pH.
The pH isn't an exclusive indicator of breeding or not. So, become a member today. Yeah, I don't know. It's not enough information for me to tell you if they're going to breed or not, is my point. Not trying to be mean. It's just not enough. So I always kind of try to use this opportunity as a sales pitch because why not? This is a show, and we want to continue doing the show. So sales pitch time. We have a Discord where lots of very knowledgeable fish keepers are on, where we're all kind of able to go back and forth with pictures, tank parameters, things that are going on with your tank, all of the stuff that you want to post. You can post it with all knowledgeable people. There is a point of entry barrier to keep essentially keep the trolls out. This is the easy way to put it. And it's as little as like 80 cents a month if you go over to Patreon and join up on the Patreon, or you can become a member on YouTube, which is like $5 a month. I get it. Some people can't afford that. So head over to the Patreon if you want to do like $1 a month to become part of our community, where we're 24 hours a day talking about fish tanks and all sorts of other stuff that's going on. We even have a music section where we're every once in a while we post about some musics, some musics that either makes us laugh or is generally actually good. So we got that going. Go check that out if you want. I want to give a big shout out to Alyssa for coming out today in the rain and the lumber and the freeway.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of a pain to drive sometimes, for sure, especially around here. Big shout out to Furry Pal Grover for becoming a member, a return member, and Rosie for becoming a member on YouTube. Also, big shout out, and Soren Abel, I don't know how to say your last name. Abelgard, I don't know how to say it. Soren, thanks for the super chat, and Rumbus, thank you for the super chat and support. And as always, hitting the like button is free. You can do that. That's free. And you can share this with your grandma if she's hanging around the house being bored. You can give her something to listen to for a couple hours. So that's it for today, because it's Monday. We got crap to do, and we got to go.
Yeah.
So goodbye.